Hey folks, Turbine Guy back once again, and this time I'm going to do a do-it-yourself, let's fix up the jet ski problem. Because the bottom of our jet ski's got a few dings in it, and we decided we better epoxy it up and save it for the year. So as you can see, we got a big area right here where it kind of hit the lift a little bit. Nice scratchy here, up here as well. What I'm going to do, run a sponge over it to clean all the dirt and sand off. Back here, we got a small spot up here, and one right back here too. So the goal is kind of fill these in, level them off. You know, it's still nice solid fiberglass here, but we don't want any of this to get any worse. All right, after checking out the jet ski to see what was wrong, how much work we had to do, I made a run up to West Marine and got an epoxy repair kit. Now you can get these online and you can get them other places, and this one's just white, but you can get them in different colors. And you know what, I really don't care. It's going to be on the bottom of this jet ski, so who cares? Anyways, let's mix up our epoxy. Now I did a little reading on the box, and it said that it's a 5-to-1 ratio when you mix it up. This is the hardener, this is the epoxy. And I got a pretty good idea down there of just how much I needed by looking at it. Here, the epoxy. Now we've got a vegan pizza cardboard here we're using. I also read that there's approximately a 30-minute setup time with this epoxy. Now that of course always varies by on how well you get the 5-to-1 ratio mixed. One thing you want to make sure you do is make enough of it so you don't run out. Looking at that pile, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Now, put that aside. And actually I look in here, looks like I used a little less than half. So I'm going to want to use a little less than half of this. And that looks like a little more than half. Use too much. What's the problem? Hardens up too quick on you. It's got to be more than that, really. Okay, there we go. I'm just always afraid I'm not using enough. I probably have too much in here as it is. Now it's mix time. Always the fun part about the epoxy, mix it up. You want to mix it pretty thoroughly so it hardens evenly and properly all the way through. Okay, I think we're getting there. Got some nice consistency going. And we put our stuff back together. Get myself off. And we can head down to the jet ski, get some work done. We'll bring that and our 3 pliers. Okay, well here we are out at the jet ski. Start with the small one first. Small one here. The small one back here. Rubbing it back and forth in there pretty good. So you got her full, right? Then you want to take your handy dandy tool, wipe it up. Actually, cut it. Yeah. I can't clean this up a little bit. Around it. Now I believe you can sand this stuff once you're done. So it's not too big of a deal that way. But I always like to keep that kind of action to a minimum if you can. Okay, up here to this guy. Feel this stuff getting a little bit sticky already. We're gonna do the big hole next. Mush it in there good and work it back and forth so it fills all the way in. Well, they say this stuff won't flow on you if you're doing it sideways like we are, so it should be staying in nice. Okay. And use a bigger one on this guy. Actually, I like even the bigger one here. Now you can see where I missed a little bit. You can see the gaps, right? Don't worry about that. We're going to fill them in a little more. Come on, baby. Trying to get this to be nice and even. Just as even as I can. And that'll be the last one probably. Okay. Okay, now we can see how there's still little gaps in here. I'm only going to be able to do so much today, so we're going to let this harden, and we're going to come back tomorrow and do one small batch and fill it right in. I got one more spot to go. Okay, I think that one's going best. There we go. There we go. About the best we can do for now. let this stuff harden up. We'll come back over it with the light sandpaper, and like I said, we'll check and see if we got to fill these in just a little bit more. We are the next day. Now I thought that I'd come out, give it a quick sand down, and then fill it up, because this stuff will tend to shrink a little bit as it hardens up overnight. So if you want to take a look, what we're going to do, I've got some 400 sandpaper. You could get something a little better than that, but so we'll just kind of take the edges off. Make sure there's no high spots. We can do a final sanding after we're all done. This is just for what we're doing here. You remember we had 4 or 5 different spots we were working on. We've got one more. Blow all the dust out of them. Get them all wiped down. And now, time to put the putty in. Shut up. All right, I got my putty all mixed up at a 5-to-1 ratio on my vegan pizza cardboard. And we're just gonna do a little bit here. This isn't gonna need a lot on any of these spots. See, and you can see the outline of the hole where it gets dark around the edges. I already got him, didn't I? Nope. Yeah, I did. Already got him. I'm going to do him again. Okay. This guy. Fill him in, fill him in, fill him in, fill him in. Now that there's no big gaps and no big holes in this is all going to sit much flatter and nicer. As you can see when I pull across it. Now the big one. There we go. Get my bigger one out for this. Gap there, just fill it in. Now, this one's still got a little bit of a gap. So I'm just going to try to goob it in there a little bit. I don't think we're going to get it too much better than that. There we go. Now, let it all harden up again. Just going to let this go overnight one more time. I'm going to get back out here a little more aggressively with the sandpaper and smooth everything out. All right, once you got her fixed up and in the water, what do? You take it out and test it and make sure it works.